So it was August 13th, which I will remember forever because it was my birthday. We were making breakfast in our kitchen over here, and we noticed that the water in the little retention drain was completely full, and so we would keep going over and we would check on it. And at, I think like 10:30, it was completely full. And by 1:30, it was halfway up our backyard. So that's when we were kind of like, okay, maybe we should lift furniture or, at least evacuate. So we were planning on going on vacation, but we decided, okay, we'll just leave extra early. We weren't supposed to leave until Sunday, but we'll leave, Saturday today and get out. So we lifted everything about 6 or 12 inches, just thinking, maximum, that's how much water would come in.
It was the next day on Sunday after we had driven out with my parents and our baby to Gulf Shores that we got a picture from one of our neighbors of a guy walking down our street, not of our house, but of on our street, and he was in waist deep water. And it was at that point that we started to get a little worried. The next day they sent us a picture of our house after the waters had started to go down, and the watermark was about 6 inches above our doorknob. So it turned out that we had gotten 46 inches of water outside the house, 41 inside.
So Monday morning we were in the kitchen and we were on vacation. We were just kind of talking about all the things that we had lost, like, the crock pot or the coffee pot, little things. My clothes, that was a big one for me. And I got really sad, and I was like, I can't talk about this anymore. And so I went outside and I just started, rather than talking to them about it, I went outside and just talked to God. And I was like, Lord, I lost so much. Like what is this, And I was like, I know you're going to provide, but I need to hear that from you. Like, I need this moment from you. And I opened up my Bible and I just started reading, and I just was so overwhelmed. Like, I just felt him so close. And I remembered the verse about how the Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and it's so true. Like, I just felt him so much in that moment. And I felt silly because I was on the balcony and I raised both hands and I just started worshiping and I was singing a song and people could clearly see me, and I felt really dumb. But it was such a good moment. I'll never forget that moment, that it just went from sadness and brokenness to God turning that into a moment of love and peace and joy. I just felt him, and it was so good. And it was just a turning point for me.
We got a picture Tuesday afternoon from the same neighbor who was just really helpful through the whole situation. They stayed in the area, and so they were going around, and they went out on kayaks. It's bad whenever your neighbor says, I went kayaking this afternoon and took a picture of your house.
Yeah.
And they sent us a picture of the water, and they kept updating us, and they finally sent us Tuesday afternoon, they sent us a picture of the water down below the doorstop. So we knew that we could get back in.
Things were just kind of everywhere. The refrigerator was on the floor laying down, dressers were completely moved, and things were broken and warped, and it was worse than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
When we got here, people were already here helping us clean up and helping us just do everything that we needed to do, which is so great because honestly, when we first stepped in our house, I was just a little frozen. I kept just stopping and kind of staring and getting overwhelmed, and thankfully other people were just, telling us what we needed to do and just kind of organizing the cleanup because my mental state was a little gone at that point.
We want to use this as a platform to reach the people that are in our neighborhood or in our community and say that, it is possible to move beyond this, that it's possible to have joy in this. It's possible to have fun while you're demoing your house and, throwing away everything you own, because it's not about those things. It's about, in a real sense, it's about the community that God has built around us. We loved having all of our anchor friends here with us, helping rip things out. And
the day after we found out our home had flooded, I was reading in Romans 5, and it talked about how you should have joy in your trials, because the trials produce patience, and patience produces character, and character produces hope. And it's so true, because when you're in a state of trials, you just get this hope of God to move and God to work. And it's a good state to be in.
Yeah.
You know, it's good to be lacking, because you need God to provide and you're expecting Him to do things. And God has done so much in our lives. It's overwhelming. Yeah. He's done so much. And I feel like we are closer to Him as a couple and individually.
Charles Spurgeon said that I've learned to kiss the wave that casts me against the rock of ages. And that's like been so true in this situation, that, you know, when life's storms take everything from you, the only thing that's left is God. And we're so glad that we have Him, because if we didn't, we would have nothing, you know, and we would be washed away too. But instead, we've gotten to work together and do projects, which she loves, but I don't. And so we've gotten to have fun together, even scraping popcorn ceiling. You know, we decided to take the opportunity to make this a home that we love even more than the one we already had, and to do things that we probably wouldn't have done except for that this forced our hand.
I mean, we moved in here and then I had a baby 2 weeks after we moved in here, so we didn't get to do any fixing or painting or anything. So it's about time. So I'm getting some new floors, some new paint, new furniture. I mean, we had all like hand-me-down furniture, so I'm super pumped about this. You know, new appliances. I've already got a new wardrobe thanks to someone that blessed me. And joy and peace go hand in hand. And to have joy, especially in a trial, you have to have peace, and you have to just, you know, you have to let things go. And God has just given me and Michael this amazing strength of peace and just letting things go. And He's just given us this attitude of joy and fulfillment and contentment with what we do and what we don't have. And it's more than when we had a home filled with things. And it really is a life lesson that I think that from this point on, we'll look back at this and say, wow, like I'm really glad that happened. You know, that's what we needed. We needed that in our hearts and in our lives, and it's totally changed our perspective. I wouldn't change it.